Oh, Mr. Bloxham here. We're just going to do cut up half a chicken. As you get half a chicken each, as you can see, half of it's already gone. First thing we need to do is I've got a sink of hot soapy water. I pulled the plug out, so I need to re-top it up. So before you touch the chicken, you need to wash your hands, but you also need a sink of hot soapy water. Then you don't have to touch the tap. So when you've got blood on your hand, you're not contaminated. Don't go into the drawer. So make sure you've got all your tools out, which is a knife, and I've got a little knife here, but you don't really need both. So I need some cling film. So I need a little bit of cling film later, so I'm getting that out. One nice bit of cling film here. Oh, so we've got some out. So we've got some cling film, that's ready to bash it, and then I'm not touching the cling film machine with dirty hands. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the leg off first, right? So this is all skin down here. See, this is all skin. So I've only just cut through skin. This bit here is called the oyster, and this is the tricky bit. You have to take this bit out here, and that's like a little bit of meat. If not, you just waste that little bit of meat. Yeah, so that's that little bit there. Then this is all bone here. There's a bit of bone, but if you just pull it forward, here, there's a big gap here, and you can just cut through that, straight through that, and there's no actually meat there, right? So then we've got the leg, that's the leg. Then we can cut this in half, so it's easier to turn it over. Now in here, you won't know where this is, and this is a lot easier. I'm going to make it look easier than it looks. In here, I can feel it, where like the joint is. If I cut straight through here, it cuts straight through, and if you don't, you hit the bone. So this is like the ball and knuckle joint. Now you can leave the skin on or take it off. So I'm just going to put it on my tray for the minute, because I'm going to egg wash and break this. And I can cut out any excess skin. If you don't like the skin, I'm going to southern fry this like you get in Kentucky. They don't normally take the skin off, but if you want to, you can take the skin off. But I don't normally take the skin off, I like the skin. So then we're going to do the wing. So we cut one wing off, so this gets cut straight through there, and as long as you know where to cut through, it goes straight through. This bit has got no meat on, we normally discard that. So that's it. Now we don't boil these up for stock because they've got too much skin in, but we will boil the bones up. Then we take the breast off, which is the trickiest bit. And the person who takes the second breast off, it's slightly harder. So we cut down here, right, but then there's a wishbone here, so we have to cut through the wishbone. You didn't hear it, normally it makes a bit of a noise, otherwise you lose this bit of meat here. Then we cut it nice and close to the bone. Yeah, as close as we can to the bone. So this one you just have to take your time with, so don't leave too much skin out, and try and get a whole breast. This is quite good, and even if you don't, you know, you just have to go back and get it off. So once we get through to that, there's a little wing here, we just have to cut through that bone there. So we cut through there, and we cut through the whole breast, right? So the carcass, as you can see, has not got too much meat on. So now this goes into the boiling water for stock, and we can either make things like risotto, use it for stock, make a sauce with it, or make it into soup. I've got here, I don't know if you've got any, you can see what we've got, but I'm going to make like risotto with it. So I can take the skin off, and just rip the skin off, yeah, or cut it off, right? Now it's still got the little wing on there, so I can cut this bit off here. So cut that bit off there, then I've got one breast, skin goes in the bin, then make sure there's no cartilage on it. So there's a tiny bit of cartilage on there, take the bit of cartilage off and make sure there's no skin. Then you can weigh it, and there's a bit of wishbone in here. So in here, there's the wishbone. You can just either pull it out like so, or cut it out. So that's the whole breast. So I'm going to show you what you should get out half of your chicken. One whole breast, two wings, and a drumstick, and a thigh. So you can either bone these, so you can just bone them, or you don't have to bone them. So to bone them, this might be easier with the small knife. You can cut round the bone, right? So if you don't like the bone, or you can cook it on the bone, normally like Kentucky, which we're meant to be replicating, would be on the bone, and then we can boil the bones up. So just try not to waste too much of this, all the way around the bone. But if you can't do this, you can do it in the bone. So maybe you can have a go at this, and if you can't, just do it. So then we just wrap it up. Normally when you buy them in the shop, you'll see them a bit like this. So that's like it. And you can do the same with that if you like, but that one I'm not going to do. So that one goes straight into the stock, and that's the chicken. Move the camera away now for a bit. Oh no, we'll do this now, we're doing this bit first. So the next bit I'm going to do is the roulade. Oh, on here I've got some spice, by the way, so I'll show you this. One wing I'm going to do with some spice, and this is called tandoori spice. Or you can do Cajun spice, put chili and cumin on, herbs on it, garlic, anything you like. This one, most of you youngsters like barbecue sauce. I've got a little bit of barbecue sauce, but don't have one bowl. Just have one bowl for the whole class. Otherwise, you've got lots to wash up. So if there's 20 in your class, there will only be one bowl of this. We'll put some in there. So this has already got some spice on there, so it's going to be a bit spicy as well. So I've got one barbecue wing and one an Indian type wing. So wash my hands in the water now. Right. Dry them, but then I'm going to do the next bit, which is the roulade. So the reason we're doing the roulade is, you probably never had this before. This is, I've got two lads in 2010, won £700 making this chicken roulade. We bash it with a hammer. If you haven't got a hammer, you can do it with a rolling pin. So I'll tell you, with a rolling pin, the only trouble, this is round, it makes round dents in it, but it does actually work. So I'll do it mainly with this, a little bit thinner than that. Need it, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to weigh mine. I've got the scales out because I get the pupils to weigh it, and the ones that gets the biggest breast in the class will get a prize. So I've got some scales here, put some cling film on it, and you can all write your times down. So if you've got time, I don't know if your teacher's going to do this. I'm going to do this with my classes. I'm going to weigh this, and it's going to weigh 233 grams. So the bigger the chicken, this is a medium chicken, 233 grams. That's some reasonably sized chicken breast. So I bashed it out. Now, so you can either bash it with a rolling pin. This is flatter, so it makes it's a little bit quicker. But you might not have one of these. So don't worry, a rolling pin is fine. But just if you're doing 100 of them, it'll be a lot quicker than this. Take that off. Now what I can do is now put it on a piece of foil straight away. So I've got a bit of foil. So I'm going to put it on the foil because then I can roll it up easier. So you can either put it on paper or on foil, and we're going to make like a Swiss roll with this. Now I'm going to put some coloured stuff in it. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of pepper here, a little bit of red pepper, and a bit of thingy pepper. So I'm going to put some of that in. I could cut it smaller. I'm going to put some spinach in mine, but you can put anything you like in it that's colourful because then it will look colourful. And I've got some red pesto, which is mainly basil and pine nuts, so be careful if you're allergic to any type of nuts here. You probably won't be. It's not actually, pine nuts aren't actually a real nut, but you might still be allergic to them. Now I'm going to put a tiny bit of cheese in. If you've got any cheese, a bit of flavour, chorizo could go in, anything can go in, salt, pepper, anything, right? So anything. Then you roll it up. Now we haven't got any bacon today, but we have all. You should be getting at least one bit of bacon each to wrap around yours. Then what I'm going to do on mine, I haven't got any bacon, which helps it fat, gives it a bit of fat. So the skin here, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of oil on it, but you won't need that with the bacon, right? And that will stop it going quite so dry. Then I wrap it up. Maybe I should have had a slightly bigger bit of foil. Right, then I can twist the ends. Now I should have had a slightly bit of foil. Nice and tight, and you can even cook this in cling film and boil it, poach it, but we're not doing that. Then these ones here are going to be egg washed and breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to move my chopping board out of the way. You're going to do this in a big group, so you don't have washing up. So you can have maybe a group with some flour between 4 and 5. So I've got a bit of salt and pepper to mix in. This is called egg washing and breadcrumbing. So we dip it in the flour first, and this will be similar to Kentucky. Kentucky actually don't have breadcrumbs, but normally the pupils prefer the breadcrumbs of it. So we dip it in the seasoned flour with some pepper and things in, herbs if you want. We dip it in the egg. Hopefully we can see this on the camera. Can we see this on the camera? So dip it in the egg, coat it. So what we do, if you do it by yourself, you should have one hand wet, this hand dry. But if you've got two of you doing it, one can do the wet stuff, one can do the dry. You only need probably half an egg. Then we dip it in the breadcrumbs. Now I use my dry hand. Now I pat it down, and you can coat things twice if you want to, but I'm just going to coat it once. Now these could be in obviously Kentucky Fried. They have a thing called pressure fryers. They cook it, they deep fry it under pressure. But we're going to shallow fry it today, or the healthier way to do it is to put it on a tray straight in the oven. But I'm just going to fry it for a little bit. I'm going to show you that. So one of my ladies here is just going to put it to the frying pan. This needs to be hot, but not too hot. I've had it on for a little bit, so we'll see if that's hot. So how you tell it's hot, you sprinkle it. You can move it if you like to. You can move the whole thing. Can you see that? Yeah, so that's not quite hot enough. So I've got it on number 6. So all I'm going to do is shallow fry this each side, or you can put it straight on the tray here and put it in the oven. This will go a little bit dry, so you could brush a little bit of oil on it. That's a quicker way to save a bit of washing up. But I'm going to fry it a bit and it will go more golden brown. This has to be 75 degrees in the middle. This will take longer than that, so the wings are going to come out earlier, right? And you need to show the teacher the probe at 75 degrees. So that's it for now, except I'm boiling the chicken breast, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some rice in there. 50 grams of rice per person, so that can be in a group of at least 2, because there's 1 carcass. If you have 2 carcasses, you could share that between 4, and there will only be 1 pot to wash up. That's it until I take it out of the oven. Thank you. The risotto now. Oh, we're just showing the chicken. So I fried the chicken. As you can see, it's golden brown, but it's raw in the middle, right? And that would go. But then in the little bit of oil left, I'm frying the onion for the risotto. I've chopped a bit of fresh herbs up here that I had, and they're getting 50 grams each, which will be 2 tablespoons. Let's see how close I am with 2 of these. 1. See how close I am at 50 grams. I reckon that'll be about, oh, let me see, 50 grams, let's see. Oh, 54 grams, so roughly that amount, 2 tablespoons. But if this was for 2 people, then you'd need 100 grams. So this would be roughly 100 grams. There we are, look, close enough, 95 grams. I'm not going to be too, because 5 grams, I'll show you how little 5 grams is. That's probably roughly 5 grams or something. Here are 99 grams. So anyway, that goes in here. So once you've boiled the chicken up, so this needs to be boiled for longer really, but you take that out, put the rice in, the onion, boil it up, and add some of these peas. If you've got any peas, these are nice and cheap. If you like peas, just put some of them in near the end, not too early, otherwise they go brown. And then normally it's got cheese in it, but we might not have any cheese. But if there is cheese, you can add a tiny bit of cheese. Thank you. And it's all cooked now. So as you can see, the chicken now, it's maybe over 75 degrees. I've let it stand for a bit. And it's sort of let it set, so it's called resting. So it's been out about 4 or 5 minutes now. But you have to move the probe until you can't get any cooler, and show the teacher the probe in the chicken over 75 degrees. So don't say it was, you'll need to show them it. Don't take it out, that's no good. You'll have to show them over 75, but that was, right? Then I'm going to put it on the white yellow chopping board. That's the only one we've got. So we'll have to do it on white ones, most of them. And there's a little bit of juice here. I'm going to put in the leftover risotto, because that's all like wasted stock and everything. When I shipped the chicken carcass, I've got about 60 grams of chicken, which is in there, which could go in the risotto. I'll finish with that. But this one here, so this will have bacon round normally. So, so I'm going to trim the ends off. And this is the red pesto, you can see, not blood, by the way, because I probed it earlier. Then this can go up like that, 1 each side like that. We've got the southern fried chicken, the wings, and this is risotto. So we can either serve it with the dauphinoise potatoes, which you'll be doing straight after half term, unless you're a Tuesday class, or we can serve the risotto like that. Sometimes you have to be careful, they sort of fall off. This is the Bollinger potatoes, which you also got the chance to make as well. This is what my other year 10s made this week: some leaf-shaped potatoes, a croquette potato, and a hash brown. As you can see here, lovely clean pot. You'll need to show your teacher your pot. If you come over here with the camera, we've all washed it all up, so you'll have to wash it all up at the same time. Look, a lovely clean sink there, a lovely clean sink. So back to here, and I think we're finished. So dauphinoise potato, which is cream and garlic, the risotto here, and I've done this thing. I told you they fall off sometimes, so sometimes you have to be, or you can slice them. These ones here, you just make little dots, and you make little stars with the end of the knife, by the way. This is a little bit of the red pesto. This last thing with this has got cashew nut flour in, so be careful, because pine nuts aren't one of the allergies, but cashew nuts are. Thank you. And that's it. Thank you.